Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are starting with lesson 1.3 for my B2 group. So let's get started. Today's lesson is called I'd like to inquire. What we're going to be talking about in this lesson is polite inquiries, polite intonations, and adverbs. Now let's begin with our vocabulary in number one. Now, number one says, work in Pearson discuss how do you usually find out about local news, event and courses? Do you ever make phone calls about these in English? What is difficult about doing this? So, what you guys have to discuss here is how do you figure out, how do you get the information, how do you know what's going on around you? Okay, now take a look at B. B says, look at the adverts A through D. Which ones would you be interested the most? They're the ones right here at the bottom. Adverts, ladies and gentlemen, are just advertisements, okay? So we have them right here. They're all advertisement for different types of activities. Take a look at C. C says, work in pairs and match the meanings number 1 through 7 with the words or phrases in bold from the advertisement. So we know that we're not working in pairs, but what we can do is we can work on our own. Now, don't forget that the words in bold are the words that are highlighted or the words that are darker than the ones from the rest of the text. With that, let's continue to the next part. Number 2, polite inquiries. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you a different link with a video explaining how to sound more polite in English. So don't forget to go back to our Moodle webpage and check that video out. Let's start with number 2. Number 2 says, listen to the phone conversation and answer the questions. Who is the caller phoning? I know this word is phoning. A lot of people don't use this word. It depends on where you're from and I guess your English culture. But phoning is a different word to say calling. Who is the caller calling? Get it? That's why they used phoning. So you wouldn't hear caller calling. Number 2, what does she want? Is the receptionist able to help her? Number 4, does the caller sound polite to you? Letter B, complete the sentence, then listen again to check. Whenever you have an activity like this one, like letter B, what you guys have to do is you have to do this on your own first, and then once you feel like you have all the correct answers, you can actually listen to double check. Okay, take a look at C. C says polite intonations. Listen and say the inquires at the same time as the speaker. Copy the polite intonation. Letter D, we're going to skip it because we need to discuss in pairs and it's kind of difficult for us to do that. Let's take a look at number 3. Number 3 says make the inquires more polite using the words in the bracket. So number 1 says, where are you located? Right? It sounds like a normal sentence, like a normal, positive, direct sentence. What you guys need to do is make the sentence more polite using the word could and tell. Okay? Take a look at B. It says work in pairs. In which situations from exercise 1B could you make the inquires number 1 through 6? Letter A and letter B are linked together. So once you have figured that out and once you have made each sentence more polite, tell us in what situations could you use them. That is all for our first page. Now, in order to explain the rest, I'm going to make a second video. So this would be our lesson 1.3 part 1. Okay,